This is college football at its absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Rid-a-dit-to-do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, May 25th. That's weird because I just went to a concert and it's during the week, and that's throwing me for a loop. Different look. We got Joey Boots with us. He's usually here with the segments and stuff, and kind of the producer role, but he's filling in today. Caleb is out. If y'all don't mind, I know y'all know Caleb and love him. It probably will be a different show without him, but we're gonna try our best. But if y'all don't mind, just keep him in your families in your prayers. He's dealing with some stuff, so just if you would do that, we'd greatly appreciate it. I'm not as long-winded as Caleb, so this is probably going to be a shorter show. That might, fit your fancy. I don't know, but it's going to be a good time. We got a lot to talk about. We got baseball. I guess we can spend the same amount of time on it as they did in Hoover. I don't know.
That was bad.
Yeah, not great. We got some more stuff. Tennessee fans are the absolute best. Selling out the season tickets. We're going to talk about that. Got some more kind of college football and stuff going on here. If y'all have any questions, comments, drop those in the chat. We'll get to those. Before we get into the show, I do want to tell you about our good friends at Underdog Collectibles. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autograph helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT grads and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. Open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember, always bet on the Underdog. Guys, go check them out. I think they're planning on moving here soon. So go check them out while you can, and then we'll get the new location once they are fully moved. But, all right, Joey Boots, welcome.
What up? It's been a while since I've hopped on in for Caleb.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I do kind of want to mention this while I'm thinking about it. So I was at the Zach Brown, easily confused. Luke Bryan,
Fair.
Zach Brown, this is Zach Bryan. Concert in Charleston yesterday. And I saw this guy and I was like, man, he looks so familiar. And people kept going up to him and asking for his picture. And I was like, he's got to be some sort of South Carolina figure. And so I went up to the guy that took a picture with him. And I was like, hey, man, who is that? He's like, it's Kate Klubnik. I'm like, I knew it was somebody. And he walked by me once, and I was like, kind of go Vols, kind of under my breath. He was with some people that were a lot bigger than me, so I didn't, want to cause a scene. But he did seem like a nice guy who was taking pictures. But just want to throw a little go Vols at him.
You kind of have to. How tall is he? Is he like noticeably? I mean, he's like 6'1",
He's like 6'2".
6'2", yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's not.
He doesn't strike me as like super tall, so he wouldn't stand out in the crowd as like, oh.
Yeah, and I knew like he had to be a quarterback because only quarterbacks look like baseball players.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good
Unless
point.
you're Joe Milton, he doesn't look like a baseball player.
And or go to a Zach Bryan concert other than like your O-line, and those are pretty distinctual.
Right, yeah. But yeah, awesome concert. I don't know if you're Zach Bryan fans, but it was an awesome show. Are you a Zach Bryan fan?
I'm kind of. I definitely listen to his music. I got like me and a couple of my friends are like Morgan Wallen stands just because
Oh, dude.
I've been on Morgan Wallen since he was a Knoxville boy, and my other friend and like it's basically our friend group split down the half, and we talk each other up all the time. But no, Zach Bryan's great. I would love to go to one of those concerts. It looks like a cool. They got the little string lights up, and they got like it looks like a cool vibe. You guys had good spots, so that looks like a
Yeah, he kind of like there wasn't a bad spot in there because he just goes around to different microphones. And I haven't really seen that before, but yeah, it was really cool. But anyway, enough about my trip. I'm back. Got back about 5 today, and man, I was hoping that I'm glad I didn't miss any baseball, but I was hoping I would have to miss because that means Tennessee was further along in this tournament. But here's the good thing: Hoover doesn't matter. It only matters if you win it.
Exactly. It's kind of we talked about this last week. We're like, you know what? If we're gonna get out of there without winning, like let's just get out of there. Like don't overcomplicate it. Let's get extra practice. Just let's get the bad losses out.
And it sucks because like you kind of had like hosting in front of you. You win that game, you're probably in serious conversation for hosting. Now you got to maybe win another game, but you get to that double elimination. Win another game is a lot easier, I guess. You have a lot better chance of winning another game out of 2. But yeah, this game was just weird because like the pitcher that they threw, Tennessee didn't let him get out of the second inning in March when they played.
Yeah,
he went 1 1/3 inning, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. I mean, he just wasn't good at all, and Tennessee hammered him. And then he goes 8 innings, 1 hit, 7 strikeouts. I mean, just unfazed. And, I know we've kind of talked about how big of a presence Christian Scott has had on this team. He was only hit. It made us look good because we talked about on the bat flip, how big of a difference maker he's been. But, man, the bats just weren't there. And I saw something on Twitter. It was just like, why did we pitch Halverson? Halverson wasn't the problem at all.
Yeah, we only let up, 5 hits? And unfortunately, those 5 hits account for 3 runs. But, that wasn't the bad side of the ball. And, again, that's baseball, obviously. I mean, there's games where you just the same pitcher can absolutely do you dirty, even though you took him yard a month later. But spin zone, good stat. Since 2022, every single team that's won the national championship has lost in the first round of their respective conferences tournament. So that's basically,
wow.
Since 2022, that's a pretty. I mean, I don't really argue with stats, and they don't lie. So I'm gonna go off that. My data only goes back to 2022, so we're 100% right now. So in theory, I feel like if you can take Tennessee at whatever odds they are for national championship, lock it in. Because
I just know God that you said since 2022.
Yeah, well, my research only spanned about a year, so I don't know about the years previous. I'm sure it's the same trend, but we're just gonna rock with the fact that in the last calendar year it's been exactly. Yeah, we don't need to know the sample data.
Right. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean there was just a lot of uncompetitive at bats in that game, and it's funny. My boss came up to me and was like, what are you thinking about today? I was like, I'll feel good unless they throw a crafty lefty because that's just been Tennessee's Achilles heel all year long. What do they do? Throw a crafty lefty. I mean, anything with movement from that left side just gives Tennessee fits. And, man, 7 strikeouts and 8 innings for that kid. And I mean, it was just over. And I know the Hoover sucks, number one, just because, it always rains. This team doesn't play well in the weather. We've seen it. But, man, can we not get a better field?
Unfortunately, I'm a little bit of I played baseball in my life, so now I just feel like I'm a little bit too much of a Tennessee casual for baseball, which is upsetting because I'm a huge Tennessee fan, clearly. So I'm going to ask some questions, and maybe that's good. Maybe that's good for listeners that don't get to pay attention to baseball as much.
Yeah.
Is Hoover is there a contract in place that it's going to be there for a certain amount of time? Is it connected to anything? Is it ever going to change? I don't know if you know. It might just be a broad question, but let's bring it to
that's just where it's been for gosh, it's been a long time. And I'm guessing there is kind of a
Underlying reason or connection.
yeah, just like why it's there. I know like the SEC office is close to Birmingham, so they want it probably close for that reason, I guess. But it also doesn't make sense why the SEC championship in football is in Georgia.
Right.
I mean, I just don't. Why can't you have it like in the SEC basketball tournament? Don't they have it at different places?
Yeah.
Why can't we have
been in Florida back to back, I think. But yeah, usually you try to make your way around. I guess maybe they're going for the fact that I mean, no, they're really not. I mean, Georgia makes sense. It's like kind of like basically the middle of the SEC geographically, but again, that's not.
And Hoover might be as well, but it's still like, can we not get a turf field? Can Greg Sankey not fork up a little bit of money to turf that field where you're not having issues every single year? And that's not the reason Tennessee. I mean, both teams had to play on it, so that's not the reason Tennessee lost. I'm just saying, for viewing purposes. I mean, we had to play a game at freaking like 2 a.m. last year because of the weather. It just puts the whole tournament kind of, you know, you're always like, I would love to go to Hoover, but I can't sit there. I can't go to Hoover and, you know, think I'm going to be here for this amount of days and I got to be here 2 more days because of weather. It's just hard for people to really plan for. And, you know, it just seems like it's always something going wrong there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like every year there's just like some sort of preemptive, like you go there knowing that it's either going to be a weather delay or some sort of, you know, hold that's going to mess up the schedule and throw everybody off. And I guess they need to figure that out. But Tennessee, yeah, you're right. I don't think Tennessee's performance really had any in fact, that rain delay wasn't going to do much. It kind of just prolonged the inevitable that we weren't really going to be getting too many hits that game. So it was not fun. It was I sat down Tuesday ready to watch finally some baseball. I'm busy in the spring semesters, and I've only been to 2 or 3 games this year in person, and it's like finally I'm off, got classes done, I'm not working on Tuesday, sit down in front of the TV, and I was just like, this is maybe it's me, I don't know, but it was just not
so
enjoyable
boring
to watch whatsoever. It was so boring. And it was like, you know, my girlfriend's not a big baseball fan, and these kind of games don't help make my case because I can't sit here and argue that it's not as much of a boring sport when it's that kind of game.
Yeah. I mean, the weird stat is Tennessee didn't issue a single walk, and that's not been them all season long. They're always working counts and making sure they're getting people on base. You know, the issue's been they can't get people in when they get them on base. I mean, we couldn't get anybody on base. I mean, 1 hit, number 1, no walks. I mean, you didn't really give anything. And there was some hard hit balls. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say Tennessee just like didn't show up. You know, Hunter Inslee hit a few, Zane didn't hit a few, and they were just right at somebody. And like you said, it's kind of that baseball thing where it just wasn't your day. But now we're sitting here like hosting was in front of you. That's blown. So now you got to go on the road, which your road record isn't good. Your record away from Lindsey Nelson isn't good at all. So what does that kind of look like? You know, is that because I mean this game is so weird because you just came off a series win on the road at South Carolina. You thought you were playing your best baseball, and then this game happens where your bats don't show up. You know, then we're thinking that it's a whole nother problem. So I don't know. I mean, if I'm an opposing team, I'm saying, hey, we're throwing lefties that throw junk pitches 80% of the time and seeing if they can hit it. Because right now it's been an issue all season long.
Yeah, no, they've been awful away from home, and honestly, I mean, like they got hot at the right time. Obviously, those series wins with Kentucky and South Carolina, like you said, like obviously Tennessee started getting hot again, and you're right that regional host is like right in front of you. And I don't know. I mean, it doesn't, again, like coming from a semi-casual standpoint, like just as overall, like I obviously keep track of the games in the season and stuff, but like it doesn't feel like a spot that it's like, because again, the game wasn't, you know, obviously it was rainy and stuff. It wasn't like an awful blowout. It's not like, you know, there's a lot of factors that like went into it, but it's mainly, you're right, like that pitching if a team sees that and saw how you played, and then I'm assuming that's matched up to the rest of the season, that's been their kryptonite most of the season, you have to assume that pitching rotation is going to come in strong on that lefty side with just some gross pitches against you if that's how it's going. And so not being able to play at Lindsey Nelson's obviously going to be a factor for this team that's newer and younger, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but what did our away record end up being? It was like 300 maybe. It was bad. I guess the South Carolina series helped.
I got it in front of me somewhere. Road record is 4-12.
I was told there'd be no math, but is that not 333?
That is.
Yeah, quick
math.
Yeah, wow. There we go. We're back.
This dude goes to college, right?
Yep. Don't doubt me. Just stats though. I'm just a stats guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good. It's not confident when it looks like that game and leaving Hoover that early kind of narrowed your chances of hosting. So I guess we're going to see.
I already reserved my ticket. I was ready to be inside Lindsey Nelson Stadium again. I didn't want that to be my last time, but unfortunately it is. And I guess the kind of spin zone to it is you're going to be a high 2 seed, so your level of competition's probably a little bit better. So I think the projection with D1 baseball had Tennessee going to the Terre Haute. How do I say that? How do you say that? Indiana State.
Terre Haute.
Okay.
We'll roll with it.
Regional with Indiana State. I think it had that freaking team, Wright State. God, I'm so tired of seeing them. As the 4 seed, and then you had UC Irvine as the 3 seed. Indiana State would be the 16 national seed, so that would be their regional, and so you'd be paired with Wake Forest's super regional. If you were to make it that far, you'd probably have to go against Wake Forest, which they've been consistently probably the best team in the country. They're called Wake Forest. They also have some pitchers that are, some of the top in the country. So it's going to be difficult, but I would rather play somebody I haven't played in Wake Forest. I don't want to play an LSU or an Arkansas, Vanderbilt. I mean, I think it'd be a cool super regional, but I'd like to play somebody a little different. And I think Wake Forest, like Winston-Salem, that's an easy drive for Tennessee fans. If they make it that far. Indiana State, that's not I don't know how far that is.
It's got to be like 7 or 8 hours at minimum. Well,
yeah.
Probably, 7 or 8, I guess.
But we've also seen some regionals where we've seen Morgantown, which is West Virginia. I've seen Coral Gables that they've been projected to. So, I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit of drive in that. I saw some with Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina, yeah. So that'd be fun. Get in Dirty Mert, Conway down there. And
hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think Tennessee has a good chance to, if they were to be in that region with Indiana State or any kind of lower seed like that. I like Tennessee's chances. But again, that road record always shows up that I'm just like, I can't trust them to win those games. But the good thing is, like, that team's probably going to have to beat them twice for Tennessee to be out. And I don't know. I kind of like Tennessee's chances and fixing things. And, the pitching it's been as good as it has been. Other than Burns at South Carolina, it's been pretty phenomenal the last couple weeks. And that was kind of a one-off. I think they were just excited that Dolander wasn't in the game anymore. But it just seems like Tennessee has, the pitching going. I don't know where the bats were at in Hoover. Hopefully they, found them and they take them to the regional with them, because whatever that was just was not fun. And I can't watch another game like that.
No, I won't do it. I mean, and hopefully the pressure's off a little bit. if there's any like positive spin out of it. And you're right. I think the draw, if it plays out like that, isn't definitely the worst. It's probably gives you a little bit of an edge. Um, and obviously, playoff baseball, playoff any sport, it's about playing your hopefully best or hot baseball at the right time. And luckily, we know that this team can do that. There's not an issue that they can. We've got the staff for it. I mean, we saw glimpses of a team that could go really deep this year. It's just, are they going to show up at the right times and, fix those small errors that are beating us up in games like Tuesday? And again, just have that timing that, maybe the seating works out and, we get a good placement and those teams line up that we can, get some hot. When Tennessee gets hot in a sport, fans start showing up, we get going. Tony V's going to have those troops riled up. I don't know. We're feeling good about it. We're going to keep good energy. There's not too much pressure. It's not like we're like, okay, well, this is a team that has to, make it to Omaha.
Yeah. And I mean, they have the talent to make it to Omaha. That's the thing. It's like, that's what's so frustrating about this team is like, you see the talent. You saw how bad they beat the crap out of Vanderbilt, who's going to host a super regional probably and probably be an Omaha team. Tennessee just took them out back and beat the crap out of them. But then you've seen the games like that Missouri weekend. I don't know what that was. You see the game like Texas A&M and Hoover. Those kind of games just kind of creep up on you. You're like, yeah, Tennessee can, but they could also be 2 and done in a regional. So you just don't know what you're going to get, and I think that's a little frustrating. But, you look at this team top to bottom, there's a lot of experience in these. Like, these guys played in a regional before. Zane Denton's played in a regional. Christian Scott, Dolander, Beam, Burns, Sewell, Jared Dickey, Moore, Burke. I mean, all those guys have played in a regional. So I think that you have that where it's like maybe the pressure isn't as much as it might be on a team that hasn't been there before.
Yeah. And I mean, you would know better is, I guess the question I ask is like, is there something visible to you that really stands out that you think is like their strict kryptonite? There's some reason that, obviously there's correlations between away games that are just awful, away series in general. And we were talking about, lefty pitchers and inexperience against that. Like, is there something that stands out that, obviously the coaching staff and everything's been working on it, but is there anything that stands out that like for you, that would be the clear reason that would deter us from making it deep?
Yeah, I think it's hitting is contagious, and so but it's also the backside of that. It's if you're not hitting, it's also contagious. So they got to find somebody that's able to just go get a hit, go get things started. They got to get on the board early, and I think that kind of opens up. It kind of releases that breath a little bit, if you will. For these guys, they need to get it out early because if you see them struggle for a couple innings, I feel like that just continues to carry over. But if they can get it out of their system, get that first run on the board, I think Tennessee is feeling good again. Hitting is contagious. So if Maui goes out there and hits open the game with a home run, Hunter Hensley, he's thinking, I'm good. And then after that, everybody's thinking like, oh, we're good. We got that first run out of the game, out of the way, and we're rolling now. So I think Tennessee needs to start. Also think Tennessee needs some help from guys who've struggled late. I mean, you look at who's moved down the lineup, Christian Moore and Blake Burke, 2 of the guys that are the only 2 returners besides Jared Dickey from last year's team in that lineup.
Yeah.
So they need to get it going. I mean, Blake Burke has struggled lately. I know he's gotten hits here and there, but he hasn't barreled up baseballs like he has, early in SEC play. And I mean, at one time we were thinking, it's going to be Blake Burke and Dylan Cruz to see who wins the Golden Spikes Award. And now it's like he's kind of fallen off a little bit and a little bit of a slump. And, part of that is he's such a good hitter that he's not seeing any fastballs. But the one way you help that is you get people on base. They want to keep throwing curveballs. We'll steal and get people in position, and Blake Burke can hit them in. So they got to do a little bit of small ball, move some runners, and stuff like that to get going. But yeah, I think the kryptonite. There's your long-winded answer that I said I wouldn't give. Tennessee has to get going early.
Yeah,
The bats
and I
got to
mean,
get going early. I
I'm
think
a,
the pitching is going to be there. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about, can they score runs? Are they going to win 2-1? I think in this day and age, I think that's kind of out of the question. You don't, with the amount of offense that's in this league, number one, the SEC, but just in college baseball in general, winning 2-1 is very hard to do.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna let them play for now and play their ball. But I'm just saying, any of the players listening out there, Tony V, I know you're probably listening. If you guys lose the first game, call me up. I did hit the local baseball fields today. I'm just saying, like, it looks pretty nice. I think I'm getting the rust out of the garage. I think we're dusting off the gloves, the mitts. Just saying, look, I mean, I'm a triple threat. I can catch, I can rake. I think I hit. I mean, center field today was 240, and I was clearing balls like no one's business. I mean, I think I topped out at like 56 with my fastball. Again, you put me in catcher's gear, and nothing's getting past me. So again, I'm gonna let you guys play your game, but emergency goalie's back here in Knox. Well, not Knoxville anymore, but we'll get on a flight. We'll make it work.
Yeah, I like it.
Danny White will get me down there.
But I don't plan on losing again. Well, let's
that's
get
what I'm saying.
them all and let's not worry about it.
Yeah, no, they'll take care of business. Hopefully I shouldn't be needed.
Yeah. We are well rested. I guess that's one thing for the regionals. We're ready to go. I mean, Everybody should be full go. Get Jared Dickey a little bit more rest, and they should be ready for the regional wherever that's at.
Yeah, let's fire up the troops. Let's get it going. Bat swinging.
Well, let's move on to a little bit of football here. So we had some news today that Mackenzie Milton has been hired as an offensive analyst for Josh Heupel and his coaching staff.
I love it. Honestly, obviously, I already was a fan of Heupel, working within his own system with guys from UCF, and that was before we saw what he was able to do with last season. I'm fully committed to, honestly, whoever Heupel wants to bring on the team. I'm going to go ahead and say I love it. But, I mean, the guy was a stud in college. Heupel obviously trusts him. And so that's only going to make the offensive situation just more electric. And obviously, next season, keeping that same offensive efficiency as last season, obviously with Hooker and Hyatt and Tillman gone, that's going to be crucial. But I'm about it. He was a beast in college, and he knows what he's doing. So it's just more depth to the coaching staff.
Yeah, over 10,000 yards of total offense and in his career, and what a comeback that he had. I think in 2018 is when he just shattered that knee and a gruesome injury and had it reconstructed, and then actually came back for Florida State and played in a couple games in his final year in 2021. So I think it is big, and I think it kind of shows a lot about him, because Heupel, as you've seen, doesn't trust a whole lot of people with coaches, and he wants to hire from within. He wants to have his kind of own set group. So for Mackenzie Milton to play under Josh Heupel and now get the seat at the table with this coaching staff, I think that's big. Again, I don't know what kind of coach he looks like, but I definitely think it sets him up for the future, because you look at Alec Ablin, was an analyst, now tight ends coach. Halsley goes from quarterback coach, now he's offensive coordinator after Golish left. So he trusts those guys that played under him, and for him to kind of extend that offer to join the staff, I think is kind of speaks a lot to Mackenzie Milton. And like you said, the dude was a walking highlight at UCF, and kind of he was the guy that put that program on the map. I know Scott Frost gets all the hype for that, but Mackenzie Milton, that was the year where he won or they claimed the national championship. So,
Oh yeah, asterisk championship.
so
Yeah,
if he
I
wants
mean,
to bring one to us, I mean that's cool too.
dude, I will switch my ways real quick, and I will argue for just about any asterisk championship. I won't do it. Obviously, it was rigged with UCF, but yeah, I mean, obviously, being a great player doesn't always translate to being a great coach, and that's pretty clear. But you're right. Heupel's very vertically aligned within the coaching staff at Tennessee, and he wants guys that really trust the system and know it well. And you can be a great player and you can be a great coach, and even if you're a great coach and don't fit his vision of the system that he's running, which clearly again was a very successful system last season, it took Tennessee to great levels right now. If he sees that vision and already knows how his coaching staff works and is going to, I mean, I'm trusting that he's bringing in a guy that is only going to just morph and make that group better. I mean, it's not, the guy could have been an awful player, but it obviously just correlates that he knows ball, and that should hopefully translate to him also being a good leader and, just being a good addition to the staff.
Yep. Yeah, definitely help. I'm all for anybody that's going to help quarterbacks out. Yeah. Quarterback is, that's what took Tennessee from 3 wins to, how many did we win? 11 last year?
Yeah.
And the difference was your offense, obviously, but quarterback, number 1, is the reason why you made the switch that quickly. Joe Milton.
Whew.
Also, the Milton brothers. Are we just calling them that?
Yeah, I mean, that was another thing I forgot to touch on. I mean, I'm double Milton in the quarterback room. I'm about it. Maybe we just start going for dudes with the last name Milton if this works out this season, like it hopefully does.
Maybe he's like the emergency quarterback. You know how South Carolina a few years ago had to, have
like
a
the
GA?
assistant grad coach or something.
Yeah. Maybe we get Mackenzie Milton come out of retirement. I don't know. I don't know if he has any. Everybody's got a year left, right? I mean, even if they don't, it's just like COVID.
I think I think everyone gets a COVID year. I mean, you could be Peyton Manning might as well come back if we get in a bad spot. Everyone gets a COVID year. I never got to use mine, so Tennessee baseball again. Maybe that's how we'll work it in. Is I technically am eligible after a COVID year. Okay. But yeah, Joe. Do I need to show the video now? I mean,
go ahead and show the video because
I'm gonna make sure my hat's held down because the wind coming off this ball is just. If you guys haven't seen the video, he was Joe Milton. We can talk about it after, but he's up in New York City. He's at the Barstool office and just.
One more than fastballs.
That guy was scared to touch the ball because he thought it was gonna. Dude, that would have put a hole in that little guy.
I hope. I mean, poor Squirrel White. He's not the most sizable dude, and I can't imagine putting myself in a position that I have to catch that ball. I would drop.
Oh yeah.
Every single ball.
Especially like if people were thinking like a knock on some receivers are that they body catch it. How do you not body catch that? I mean, I know it's gonna how do you just not catch it with your shoulder pads every time? I know it's gonna bounce off, but I mean, how do you just stick your hands out there and kind of trust that you're gonna make that catch?
Yeah, I mean, from 15 yards and in, I'm hoping. I mean, if his checkdowns are a third of that speed, it's getting to you quick. So,
also, I would have called
red box it. I would have. I mean, yeah, I'm sure I would have. You give me the gloves, and I'm catching that all day. Yeah. But
that poor guy. I mean, that. Can we also kind of agree? I mean, I don't want Joe Milton arrested for anything, but is that not kind of the same as shooting a gun in the office? You can't just throw a football in the office like that.
Yeah, moving at that speed. The fact that there was no computers broken or anything, but that's. I mean, it clearly just speaks to his accuracy because he probably picked a spot that had no computers, no glass, no nothing, and nailed it.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying he was clearly not aiming for the guy that was catching the ball because, 1, he would have killed him, and 2, that's just where he didn't want to aim it. So he just aimed over his left side so he could feel the wind come off of it, but get nowhere.
I love the little guy in the video after it gets by him, after he realizes he's not dead, that he gives a little kind of pep in his step a little bit. I like that. That means you did it. You survived.
But yeah, it's awesome to see Joe Milton do it in his media tour. It's like, when was the last time? I mean, Hooker kind of came in, obviously, like at a weird time, and there was never really. It was until last season that national media just didn't want to talk about Tennessee. Clearly, Tennessee's just not the favorite amongst national media and everything, but it's refreshing not only, but it's just great to see like actually some praise and attention for someone like a quarterback. I mean, when was the last time a Tennessee quarterback was on Good Morning Football or, ESPN and stuff this early in the season? Not because, last week he won an SEC championship or something. I mean, there's a lot of hype that's going into Joe Milton, especially after the game against Clemson in the Orange Bowl. And
he threw an orange 120 yards.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's great. I hope hopefully, I mean, everyone's impressed with Joe Milton. He doesn't let it get to his head. He's still very acclimated as a leader. The way he spoke on Good Morning Football was just very much what I would expect out of a Tennessee quarterback room. It's how I know Josh Heupel coaches. I know that's how the coaching staff runs things there. It's very much how Hendon Hooker led the team. It's a selfless leadership position. It's team comes first. Obviously he's up there. He's swagged out. He's looking good. It's like a monster. He's huge. But he plays it cool, and he's just ready to win some football games. So I'm about it. I love the media cycle. Get his name out there. Let people know that Tennessee's coming. And
yeah, and is that not a huge benefit to have? Because, I mean, that's set up by Spire in the Volunteer Club. Shout out Volunteer Club. If we want to tweet out that link, go. If you haven't joined today, do that. You can use our link and join today for, I think, $5 is as much as it costs just to be a part of the program, and that pays for stuff like Joe Milton to get more media coverage. It also, like, you want to have the best possible athletes. This is the way to do that. NIL is changing the game, so we got to be on the forefront of that, and this is the way to do that. So go join the Volunteer Club today, and that's the reason. The Volunteer Club and Inspire have been on the forefront of NIL since it started. They're trendsetters. So, I mean, that's the reason why, you get to see Joe Milton on Good Morning Football. You get to see, guys like that in New York City. They just have those connections made kind of through this whole ordeal, and they're killing it. So,
yeah,
if you're a recruit and you want media exposure, you want to kind of build your brand, Tennessee is probably one of the best options to do that.
They are. I mean, when NIL first, there was that little 3, 4, 5, 6 month phase where it was like everyone just trying to throw as much money at programs to entice it for recruiting, because obviously the moment NIL was enacted, it's like that automatically becomes just a huge factor of recruiting. It's not all about a team's future success and current success. It's about, I mean, you want that to be a factor, but let's be honest, these kids are young and they want to make money. They want to, start making money early, get their face out there early. They want to be able to get to the league. They want to be known. So there were some teams, Texas A&M, Miami, that were throwing a lot of money at people. And I'm not going to say it hasn't worked out, but I feel like Spire and the way that Tennessee's really handled all the NIL collectives and everything has been the most successful in terms of set forth for the future. It's not just like, hey, we got a bunch of money, you come down here. We're actually showing like what we're doing with it. And again, I mean, we have the Tennessee fan base that's helping with all these collectives, and that only adds to the reasons that someone would want to come here. But you see Tennessee's success last season, and then you see that, how good Hendon Hooker was in terms of Aspire, and then landing Nico and all these NIL deals and stuff, and then just getting more media spotlight, and all of that has to be just a great combination of recruiting abilities that you have in your back pocket to be able to pull out, which the team already speaks for itself. But when you're able to pull out what we're doing with NIL here, it's only an added bonus. Yeah,
and there's actually legitimate evidence of why you should come to Tennessee. You look at, you mentioned Hendon Hooker, you mentioned the offense. Darnell Wright's another one. I mean, you can come here as an offensive lineman, get coached by, really great coaching, Glenn Ellerby, and get better each year like Darnell Wright did. and then go to the NFL and make a ton of money. Be a first-round pick.
And Darnell Wright didn't even get that much media attention except for his crazy DMs.
Yeah. Yeah. But there is legitimate evidence now. There's not just like, hey, trust in us, trust in the vision. The vision's come to fruition now, and you better get on board or you're going to get run over.
God, if Jeremy Pruitt was Charlie coach right now, we would be so bad. If it was still Philip Fulmer and Jeremy Pruitt running stuff, we would be.
Jeremy Pruitt was also on the forefront of NIL. He just did it before it was legal.
Exactly. Shout out him and
wrong place, wrong time. Shout out Alabama.
Him and Casey were running that NIL ring before it was cool.
Yeah,
they're trendsetters, honestly.
Yeah, they're killing it. God, go back to Alabama. God, I saw a guy run today. It looked just like Jeremy Pruitt, and I wanted to say something. I just said it to my wife, and she's like, "Does Jeremy Pruitt really look that big?" And I was like, "He put on some weight at Tennessee."
The Tennessee diet.
Yeah, but also Josh Heupel looks like he's lost some weight.
Yeah, I think that's the difference maker. When was the last coach we had here that didn't gain a little?
Now he did get bigger in the fall, but maybe that's just that fall. I get it.
It gets cold sometimes in the fall. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it does get chilly, sweater weather.
You want a well-fed coach. I mean, there should be no dietary restrictions on a coach.
Right,
I mean, you should. I mean. Speaking historically, I feel like the better football coaches are the ones with a less healthy, diet and risk of health issues. But it's kind of football. That's just how it works. But yeah, don't restrict the man's diet because obviously whatever's working, keep it up.
I think part of it is he's so competitive. He started losing to recruits in games because he was getting, a little bit heavier, a little bit slower. Maybe the reflexes weren't there like they used to be, and he's lost some weight, and he's like, I'm done losing.
I'm about it.
Just like he did with this program. They're done losing.
Respect.
No longer a doormat.
I'm working on that diet too. That Southern Windfall diet. We'll see if it translates to success, but
dude, that's why I hate traveling. Dude, look at this. I got a freaking water from Bojangles.
Oof, that's shallow.
Yeah. I mean, Bojangles is good. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't go there for their water. I mean, is it good? Is it?
Oh, the water. I'm just talking about me having to go. Like, I eat so bad, and this is the only way I feel a little bit better is I don't get. I mean, I don't drink soda anyway, but I was like, hey, can I get a water instead of just like a soda with my meal?
Yeah, going for a water instead of sweet tea. I don't think I could do it. Maybe like once a week, but if I'm going to Bojangles and I'm not getting sweet tea, I don't think I'm not really having the Bojangles experience. That's just me personally. I'm addicted to sweet tea, but we could all use a little bit more water. Anyway.
I don't like it. I'm like one of the few in Tennessee that does not like sweet tea.
It's crazy. My girlfriend's the same way, dude. I don't know.
Like sometimes if I accidentally take a sip of my wife's drink, I have to spit it out. I cannot. Ugh.
That's how she is. She has a fit, which I get it. Like if you don't like that overwhelmingly sugary flavor, East Tennessee sweet tea is definitely not going to be your move because I've been to some places where it is. Dude, McDonald's sweet tea is literally they must pour a pound of sugar per cup. It is absurd.
Is it good?
It's. It's like 80 grams of sugar. It's basically just sugar with some water in it. But it's a lot. If you don't have a just shitload of ice in there, it's weirdly sweet.
Yeah.
The ice calms it down a little bit. You get a little bit of water.
I like that. But yeah, Joe Milton maybe on a wanted list for attempted murder for that guy. I mean, poor guy. I mean, he probably weighed the same as that football, honestly.
I'm gonna play it one more time. I just want to watch.
I've watched it so much.
One more than fastballs.
And that framing, when it's vertical, it looks so much faster. I just want to. Honestly, if Joe Milton doesn't work out, just give him an ESPN show where he just throws stuff insanely fast.
I want to see if he can out throw a jugs machine.
I would. Yeah, I'm pretty confident he could.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
I actually just like kind of the dude perfect stuff. Like, see how far he can throw different things.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, the orange like garnered just everything on social media. I mean, what are some things that you'd want to see
He
Joe
went
Milton
up
throw?
draft boards because of that.
Yeah, he did. It's a fair. I mean, so if I'm Tennessee's social media team, I'm like, what else can we throw that's damn impressive? Let's get him. I mean,
I want to
he
see if he
definitely.
can throw it from home plate and hit the batter's eye at Lindsey Nelson.
I was about to say, I was like, he can definitely clear wall on home plate. I mean, it's just start going around and start throwing random stuff. Maybe I don't know. Get him like on one of those like really like just get him somewhere really high up and see it. Get him on top of Ayers or the Sun Sphere and give him like something that could just get launched and just get like a crazy stat out there. Like Joe
I'm
Milton
going to see him do
threw.
the shot put. See how far he can throw that thing.
See, but I think a lot of it's just like his snap, like that throw in that video. It's just like this. His hands like down here. It's like, I mean, obviously everything's going quick, but it's that snap that just. Oof.
Little flick of the wrist.
I love it. I might make that my lock screen.
Ooh, a hot
Unfortunately,
dog. How far can you throw a hot dog?
yeah, and then he can throw it to us in like center field, and then we'll do a hot dog review once we catch it.
Yeah.
Because again, you and I aren't dropping that hot dog. We don't drop anything.
No.
Lost my train of thought, but yeah, we can do that. I'm cool.
So Tennessee also has a big recruiting weekend this weekend. It's A65 Live, I think is what it's called. It's been like Rocky Top Palooza, the Big Orange Carpet. It's been named a number of things, but it's the Memorial Day weekend where they get a bunch of recruits here. They get the commits. Some guys are taking an official visit. I think 5-star linebacker Sammy Brown will be here on an official visit. 4-star running back Peyton Lewis will be back on campus. So there's a ton of guys going to be on campus this weekend. And I hope that we have – I'm trying to set up where we have somebody that covers recruiting next week or so, kind of break down this whole weekend. But going to be a ton of guys there. Boo Carter, a bunch of in-state guys, a bunch of commits, like I said. And it should be a really good weekend. Hopefully they land some commits out of it like they did last year. I think John Slaughter was one that committed out of this weekend. So this is a big weekend for Tennessee to land some recruits. And again, A65 Live. I don't know if I love that name.
Do they just change the name every year? Because I'm pretty sure last year's was Rocky Top of Palooza or something like that.
Yeah, and I think they want to get away from that name because of
Lollapalooza. The other school that does it, right?
I just think like maybe it's like Lollapalooza is just like a big like party with like drinking and drugs and you know whatever. Maybe they just want to get away from that. Maybe entice the kids that hey, like you're gonna get drugged and get drunk and
that's true.
Yeah, maybe try to get away from that. But yeah, A65 Live, I don't hate it. Again, like it's just a big recruiting weekend, so I guess the name doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I guess it's relevant, but just like Big Orange Weekend, let's just stick at that every year. Big Orange Weekend 2023.
Yeah,
Big Orange Weekend. It's self-thing. Yeah, let's get away from the drugs and drinking and that kind of like no more Jeremy Banks on this football team. We're done. Gotta toss it in there somewhere. Yeah, I can't.
Joe's love for Jeremy Banks is just out of this world. I love it.
It's crazy because if I ever saw him in person, I would literally pretend I'm his biggest fan because that dude terrifies me. But right now behind the screen, I'm a talk. I'm a Twitter finger set up.
At least you're not like a bot talking. At least you're like somebody. I'd rather you do that than.
No, I'll put my face to it. You can clip it and send it. I mean, again, you kick my ass. I'm not sit here and state that like I want to fight him. I just have a deep hatred for him, and I guess that's fine. I mean, I'm just invoking my First Amendment.
There you go. I like it.
He did it to himself. That's not my fault. Look, it's not like I just have a hate for Tennessee linebackers. It's when you do certain things and say certain things, and then I don't like you. It's pretty hard to get on my shit list. So
it's true. God, that South Carolina. I went through Columbia to get to Charleston this weekend, and I was just like, damn, I hate this place.
It's only gonna make next year so much better.
God, we better destroy them.
We're gonna
better destroy them.
In Neyland, if it won't be. South Carolina will be the second loudest game in Neyland. I think
Georgia will be number one.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody understands the gravity of Georgia, but I think so many people, like, right behind just all the fans in there, like 99% of them are going to have that disdain for what they did to us last year. And granted, again, we did it to ourselves and Jeremy Banks. But for the most part, like, I think the crowd's just like, I know me, for example, that's like Georgia's just like, okay, like last year there really wasn't, I mean, we were thinking we could beat them, but there wasn't that, like, expecting that. And there's not like this, they've won 2 years in a row. They're a great team. South Carolina, like, it's personal. And I just think the fans are going to be way more riled up. Nobody really likes Shane Beamer in the first place. I just think there's going to be a lot of pent up. Where does it fall on the schedule? Is it after Kentucky? Do we play them in October?
It's thrown around a little bit because I know Georgia's like at the end of the year, which is strange.
We got Georgia late. Because I'm hoping that Tennessee's going to be, knock on wood, undefeated by then. Maybe or at least we'll just say that. And I don't know. I mean, I know I can only
September 30th.
Okay.
So it's right after UTSA.
Yeah. So hopefully Tennessee's undefeated by then, and we just get back on Spencer Rattler, Shane Beamer, and South Carolina.
Yeah, love that.
But we'll get on to that.
Team. I just think like they could be terrible and they could also be like good. I don't know if there's an in between for South Carolina.
Yeah. I mean, and it's props to them for what they've done in the past couple of years, getting to where they're at. But doesn't make me want to beat them any less.
Screw 'em.
Yeah. Sorry.
You mentioned the fan base and how loud it's going to be. Man, if you give this fan base just an inkling of winning, they show up and show out. I mean, I have 2022. The plan goal was 56,000 season tickets. They sold 61,490. The plan for 2023 was 61,000, and then sold out 70,500. I mean, just the whole allotment just gone. So if you think last year's tickets to try to get into a single game was expensive, it's going to be even worse. So you should have bought season tickets when you had the chance.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate, obviously, that I'm in a position where I guess, honestly, I probably pay enough in tuition that they can eat it anyway. But if I look at it from not that perspective, I like being at that Alabama game. Dude, I was hanging out with my friends last night, and one goes to Penn State, one goes to Pitt, one plays basketball at another school. And every time we get together, I did it again last night. I made them watch like the lengthened highlights from the Alabama game, and I replayed the ending like 3 times at full volume on a Wednesday night, full blast out in the backyard. So
just guys being dudes,
guys being dudes. But yeah, dude, if most people do have an understanding if they like know anything about college football, but for people that like don't really have an idea, I mean, Tennessee still had a aggressively ridiculous fan base that even when we were 3-7 at one point playing awful football, especially in football, you give inkling of success, but especially after last year, resale tickets are going to be absolutely insane this year. There's going to be some tickets that are just ridiculous. That Georgia game, it's going to be like Alabama, where it's, I mean, depending on our record at the time, obviously we can talk about Tennessee might be able to slip up in the floor and ceiling, which we talked about, but I can't imagine that there's not going to be some absolutely insane ticket prices. And I don't know. I feel
we're going to see it. It's going to be on social media. We're like, oh my God, look at Ticketmaster. They take all these fees and everything. If you would have bought season tickets, you wouldn't have to pay so much money for tickets.
I agree.
I understand baseball is a little bit more difficult because they did get like really good so fast that everybody bought up the season tickets. And now the stadium isn't big enough to hold everybody that wants to get in there. I understand that. They also sell standing room only tickets for what, $10? It's like nothing.
Yeah. If you really want to be there at Lindsey Nelson, that's a whole different thing. And honestly,
but
I mean, look, let's expand Neyland. Let's get 240 or 140.
They did the The Vol Shop had some kind of sale, and the line. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't even know what was in there, but it was
It was
probably
just like
a
their
bunch of like for sale items that you could pack in a bag and take home with you.
yeah.
The
It was like
line was
the grab
backed
bag
up
thing.
from, was it the on campus, the student union? It was like backed up all the way to friggin' Alcoa Highway.
Yeah. No, it was
This
nuts.
fan base is incredible. I mean, they're going to show up every time, no matter what. Now you're going to get a lot more if they are good, but they're going to show up no matter what, and they're everywhere. You know, I dabbed a guy up. He was wearing a Tennessee baseball jersey um, last night at the concert in Charleston.
Hell yeah.
We're everywhere.
It's just a fan base. It's like, and obviously I'm biased, but there's just no. I mean, I've seen how other fan bases interact, and I'm not gonna. I mean, everyone has like their own special thing, and I'm not gonna like slam on it. But you're right. I mean, I've seen Tennessee fans out in just like random places, and it's like you've known them or they're your neighbor for 10 years. I mean, being a Tennessee fan, honestly, like if I meet anybody and you tell me they're a Tennessee fan, that puts them above literally everybody else in the area, right? Like I don't need to know anything else about them. Hopefully
Special
they're not
bonds.
like a murderer or something, but I mean that's you're right. It's a special bond. It's a brother at that point. So, yeah, I don't. No one's touching it, and I'm glad that Tennessee's back at a point. And again, we can get throughout the whole offseason, we'll talk about how next season is going to be a little different in terms of expectations and stuff. But regardless, Knoxville's hot again. Tennessee's hot. The fan base is riled up, and when Tennessee's fan base gets riled up, especially for football, Tennessee does some crazy things. So I'm hoping that just stays on track.
And this, like, Tennessee has a good year this year. Like, the season tickets aren't going to get any better. The ticket prices for single game tickets aren't going to get any better. So if you get the opportunity to buy season tickets, you better do it, because otherwise you're going to be complaining on. I'm going to see you on Facebook complaining about the ticket prices, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to either. It's a simple answer. Let's just expand Neyland to 130.
We'll build another deck.
That's what I'm saying. We'll just like keep expanding. We're not. I mean, look, we can go towards the river as much as we want. We can do like just that side up by the river. We could do like 5 or 6 new shelves.
Kind of like Lindsey Nelson. They just keep building like a different porch.
Yeah, there you go.
They just keep going.
Did you guys talk about it on the last episode, the like right field future renderings and stuff?
We talked about it when they were announced.
Okay, but like I saw the pictures and stuff actually like all over Instagram and stuff. So
yeah, so the pictures were out. I think they've been out for a while.
Oh, have they really? Yeah, I saw it like all over the place. So I thought.
Yeah, I think there was some that resurfaced, but yeah, they've been out. Now maybe they're different pictures, but yeah, like that, like dorm and kind of that whole like finished product. Yeah,
which is great. I mean, we need it.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah,
there's not enough space in that right field area. It's misuse of space. I know. Obviously, you got the batting cages underneath that right field standing area, and you know you're kind of tight back there in terms of utilizing that space. But the ground is there, and obviously, you know, Tennessee's had better success. Obviously, not as good as last season, but those renovations will hopefully open it up a little bit. And then I don't know. Lindsey Nelson's a good spot. We could use a little bit newer stuff and more space.
Yeah. Well, let's go win the College World Series this year, and then
There we go.
Then they'll just build it. They'll have to.
They have to. You can't not change something drastically.
As much money as Greg Sankey's going to make over that, I mean, build it. We do have one more friend to talk about. New sponsor, shout out, Knoxville Tours. Check out our good friends at Knoxville Tours. They have tours you don't want to miss. If you give them a call today at 865-688-6232 and mention more important issues, you'll get an exclusive offer on their 5-day MLB tour. The offer will include 4 nights, 1 in Cincinnati, 3 in Chicago. That will include 3 baseball game tickets, stadium tours, a city tour, and much more. Give them a call today at 865-688-6232 for more details on the August 4th through the 8th Motor Coach Tour. Go check them out. Mention us. Really cool. I think you get to go see the Reds the Cubs and the White Sox. I think I don't know who the Reds and Nats play. The Cubs play the Braves, and I think the White Sox play the Yankees. So you get to see a lot of really good teams in that as well. So,
Dude, sign me up. I'm all about it.
yeah, pretty good, pretty cool tour there. And the price includes your food, your hotel, and all that stuff. So go mention more important issues for an exclusive deal there, and I'll type
When's that
it.
again?
That is August 4th through the 8th.
I mean, I do want to do like a little MLB tour. I mean, obviously, I'd love to get to every ballpark at some point in my life, but we might need to hop on that.
Yeah,
might catch me in Chicago August 7th, y'all.
Go do it. But yeah, I appreciate them hopping on and sponsoring this podcast. Love it. Let's do some segments.
Oh yeah,
Dylan, if you want to get in here too, you can. Start with some. I don't think we have any questions.
yeah, Dylan, hop in here. I don't get to say that often.
Hop in here, you little. He's about to go on his honeymoon, dude. He's just out of it.
He's kickback mode. I get it.
He doesn't.
I would
he
be
just
too.
doesn't even care.
My first most important was going to be Joe Milton's throw. Clearly, I mean, that's just Joe Milton's going to be most important. Probably.
Is it kind of a fail for that guy to say fire it like that at him?
I love how he's like, give me one of those fastballs. Yeah, that word will never be uttered ever. That guy's anytime that guy hears fastball, he's going to have PTSD.
Yeah.
Don't bring him to a baseball game.
What's up, Dylan?
What's up?
You good? Did you get that haircut?
I did. I only got a little bit cut off. You can't really tell right now either. But sorry, I ordered a gold watch for the honeymoon. Speaking of the honeymoon, and I'm trying to take some of the links out. Multitasking, you know.
Dang. All right.
He's iced out.
Yeah. Nice.
It was like $30 on Amazon. You know, I don't make that much money.
Shit. You live in Brentwood.
I was going to say those Brentwood Chick-fil-A cool wraps.
Hey, guess what I have for lunch today? Guess what I have for lunch today?
A cool wrap.
Cool wrap from Chick-fil-A. Bro.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe if you ate a number one meal, you'd have more money for that watch, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you could get a better watch.
Dude, I went to Chick-fil-A and I was watching my brother's dog. I was out in the one in North Shore. And look,
that's also a nice flex.
Yep, sorry. Chick-fil-A game, baby. Chick-fil-A service is great. Like they're always 10 out of 10. I've never met one person there that's not fantastic. I had to wait like a little bit for something, and so I pulled forward, and it's like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. Wasn't that big a deal. She comes up to my window. She apologizes like so sweetly, hands me like this little like gift baggie, and is like, "Here's for your troubles." And it's like, again, great service. I'm expecting like, oh, one of the DOCs or whatever. It's like free sandwich in the next week or two if you come. I got to show it to you. It's a Chick-fil-A zesty buffalo sauce keychain. It's like the most random. I mean, like, I'm appreciative again, but it's like, are you guys just like saving these back here for? Does this happen every time?
That's pretty cool,
dude. I actually love it. I've been swinging it around my finger like 24/7. But yeah,
I love and not to throw anybody under the bus, but if McDonald's was a sponsor of this podcast, I won't talk bad about them. But McDonald's, they tell you to pull up, they'll literally just throw the bag into your front seat.
Chick-fil-A is different, dude. They got the ones that stay double lane all the way through.
It's
and
kind
they
of
got
a
the
cult.
sliding door.
I feel like it's a cult.
It's a cult
for sure. It is.
But I'm happy, honestly. You make chicken like that, I don't care what you're.
But them cult wraps.
Yeah.
They're not cold wraps. They're cool wraps.
No, cult wraps.
If Charles Manson's making chicken like that, dude, I'm eating it. I don't care.
Speaking of a cult, Buc-ee's. This is a fail, but since we're on kind of cult, it kind of correlates. So this is a fail. But Auburn tweeted the only SEC school with a Buc-ee's.
False.
I mean, that's not true. Like, Tennessee's getting one in like a month. Or I mean, they're Sevierville, but it's the next city over.
Kentucky.
Lexington has one like
Yeah.
right close to Lexington, so yeah. I mean, I feel like Bucky's like in your town. I feel like doesn't hit the same as like you're driving a little bit and you pass it and you're like, oh yeah, let's stop in. That's when
Yeah.
Bucky's hits different.
If you live within like a mile or like 5 to 10 miles of a Bucky's, that's trashy. That's a fact.
Yeah.
It's like because it's like a rest station place. Like you
Mhm.
shouldn't be like, oh, I'm gonna run to Bucky's. That's not the point of it. So
Yeah.
kind of a bad flex on whoever's part that you said was it Clemson?
Auburn.
Yeah. Oh, surprise. So yeah,
Yeah.
bad flex there.
Also, who wants to go to Auburn, Alabama?
Yeah. In fairness, the Bucky's is probably the highlight of that town. So
It probably is, honestly. And that stupid tree.
are we on fails?
Most important, but I just
Okay.
said that
I
fail
wasn't sure.
because it was there.
I don't have any. Oh yeah, I do. The video won't come up, and it's kind of pissing me off. But I've got just a still photo of Bijan Robinson. I guess it must have been 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year. The fact that he's alive is the most important. The fact that was the position he was in,
Dude,
Yeah,
yes,
why
I
the
saw that
back
video.
of his head is literally in his butt.
and when you watch the video, it's not like the helmet slid off a little bit and like his head's there. Like no, his neck is pushing 90 degrees. I mean, it's
Dude, he must have that neck strength.
He got a thicker neck than you, Landon.
Dude, he probably does. I got that thicky thick, boy.
that wide neck.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. Shout out Bijan Robinson for forget the first
Alive.
running back in the draft, but alive in general.
Man, I thought I had one. I think mine was going to be Mackenzie Milton.
Just overall, or like the double Milton, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Milton brothers at quarterback. Taking the setting records. But yeah, just him being a part of the program, I think is good because not only did he play under Heupel, did he have a successful college career, but he kind of like, even though he transferred to Florida State, the only reason why he transferred was he was like, I'm not competing with Dylan Gabriel. This is his team now.
Which is a fair thing to do. That's not.
Yeah. So like,
what you expect him to do?
He's a team guy, so I'm all about it. And again, that's probably one of the main reasons why Josh Heupel wanted him to be part of the staff.
Oh, also, he's a huge football guy. He named his son Madden. Like this guy's committed to the football life.
Yeah.
So Josh Heupel just gets dogs.
That's a great son name.
It's a good name. I mean, anything affiliated with like something that you really love, I respect if you're going to go out on a limb.
Yeah. Well, especially like, you got to, like you said, the clearance to do that.
That's the big key.
I've thought about that a lot. Like if I had a son, like what would I name it? Because I wanted to have something to do with sports, but maybe not enough to make it super obvious where my wife doesn't, disagree with it.
You can toss out Hendon. I feel like you can maybe middle name Hendon.
See, she likes Jennings.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's for a girl too.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say that's pretty whatever they use that word for. But yeah, that's like pretty casual.
Which is funny because there's a story where my wife almost hit Juwan Jennings in the fort walking across the street. Literally like hands on car, like that close to like ending. I mean, that would have been it. That would have been it.
Was this
done
before the Florida catch? Well, the Georgia catch, but the Florida down.
I think it was the week after it was the week before the Georgia catch.
Yeah. She would have had to go. Like, there's no way. Knowing what you would have known, that's like some Back to the Future stuff. Like you would have had to like really fix the past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know any other names that would fit as because you gotta be subtle. You can't go out and be like Nealand, like
Peyton,
like, yeah, Milton,
football,
like, Joe. I mean, but yeah, Alvin could always be a sick middle name. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any more most importance other than Mackenzie Milton and Tennessee selling out their Season tickets. We did get tickets for Florida. So we're going.
Nice. Y'all tear that up. I think I'm going to try to get to Bama this year.
No,
Because
you're
I know
going.
I'm going to. What?
You're going.
Am I?
You're going with us, yes.
Oh. Say less. Cool. I'm about it. Yeah, because I wasn't figuring out. I obviously wanted to go to both, and I was like, well, I don't know if I can squeeze it, but I'm definitely going to be at Nissan Stadium for the first game. We're going to rate those glizzies. And
that's going to be a blast. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, we got some fun away setups. So
yeah. Dylan, you got any fails?
Not off the top of my head.
You ready for the honeymoon?
I am. You know, got that.
Congrats on the sex, man. I appreciate it.
After dark. Is it 9:30? Oof. 15 minutes short. Where you guys going?
Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. First all-inclusive resort for me. Hopefully it's going to be lit. I've been told it's going to be lit. First time out. I've been out of the country on a cruise, but I don't really consider that going out of the country.
Is there any nude beaches?
So my aunt and uncle went here for their honeymoon, and they said there's a lot of Europeans that come here, and they just go topless.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah!
So
you said Europeans, and I turn an eye, but topless Europeans. Now we're talking. I'll let it slide. Yeah, only acceptable kind of European, female.
No, I feel like there's definitely you're not gonna get a lot of those, but you're probably gonna get a lot of topless dudes that just like
don't need to be.
Oh, dude, like, and just the hair on the chest is just out there.
Little carpet,
just let it fly.
Yeah. I mean, you shave it off, just sprinkle it on a taco, and you just eat that. You know.
Oh God. Those all inclusives are crazy, dude. If you get like the drink package and stuff, then you don't gotta worry about like whatever you do is like just.
Then you got to go all out. You got to get your money.
The weirdest thing is like going to dinner because you don't have to pay for it after. I mean, I guess you could leave a tip or whatever, but it's just weird, like getting up and leaving after eating a 3-course meal.
Dude, that's how I feel about on the cruises. When I get a drink, they like give me the receipt, but I've already paid for it, so I'm just like, thanks.
Yeah, it's weird. You always leave like a nice tip, I guess, but.
And you have to sign it, I think. So it's like, here's $0. Already paid you. Sorry, but
it does.
You did that. Did y'all see where Harrison Bailey is? He committed to Louisville.
God,
apparently as a walk-on. Dude, Tennessee oh my God.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. He got screwed over. I mean, I don't know how much of it was self-inflicted. I just think he got into a really bad situation with everything that was going on at the time. I mean, I think he still has a lot of skill. I just don't think he's panned out to obviously be the 5-star that he was.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, you go to UNLV and don't even win the starting job. Yeah, you ain't no 5-star no more.
No. But I don't. That was a weird situation.
Like he was so good in high school. And I know again that I don't always translate. What?
He was also throwing to Eric Gilbert, who was a freak in high school as well.
Yeah, that's true. Ramel Keaton was also on that team. Bijo Jalari. Yeah, they had some dudes.
Yeah, I mean everybody else panned out pretty well. So I mean, I don't know.
That was just weird. I thought just because he was a winner and he played in a really good classification, I was like, oh yeah, he's it. So that's on me. Now he's a walk-on at Louisville.
The Landon curse.
Yeah, that's on me. So sorry, Harrison.
My first fail was I don't know if you guys caught the Nuggets Lakers. First off, LeBron got swept, which is crazy. I didn't think that the script would allow that, but Jokic hit. I got the video here. Jokic hit probably one of the dirtiest travels I've ever seen ever. I think I counted like 8 steps. Technically, he dribbles it, but it looks like LeBron got a hand in there, and so they can call it swatting. But just watching it seamlessly looks like he took 7 or 8 steps.
Murray gets inside, back to Jokic. Shot clock winding down. Jokic has to put it up high on 3.
I mean, he talking about like 4 steps, dribbled, and then 3 more steps back, and then.
Bro, what is that?
It was trash.
That arch, though, that was the moonest of moon shots I've ever seen.
Speaking of fail, D'Angelo Russell sucks.
Yeah.
He's garbage.
He's a bum.
And he
He's
was
pretty
like
good.
good the first couple
Yeah.
series, and then this one he just like, oh, I forgot how to play basketball. It was like when like all the NBA players like get their powers taken from them from the Monstars, and they're just like super bad at basketball. That's what happened to D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
It's LeBron curse, dude. I don't know what LeBron's gonna do because people are saying that like he's not gonna retire. He's waiting this far. He's too deep into it. He's gonna play with Bronny. That's what he said he's wanted to do all along. I mean, I think he'll be done the year him and Bronny like play together because that's like his final thing. But I just don't see him stepping out in that moment. Now his future.
I think he's got to one up Tom Brady. What did Tom Brady play? Was he 40?
Yeah. He's also going to have to make out with Bronny then if he's going to try to up one Tom Brady.
Oh, God.
But, I'm sorry, Tom Brady started it. I'm not a fan of it either. But yeah,
this one did go after dark.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, I'm not trying to get graphic. I'm just Tom Brady. Tom Brady made out with the son, and so I thought that's where you're going with that.
I hope LeBron doesn't try to one up Tom Brady in that one.
Hope not. Let's see. I know I had one. Oh, yeah. Okay, because I was pissed off. So NFL posted their they did it last year. They've done it the past couple of years. They have the rookies come in and try to draw their team's logo from memory because it's a joke. Obviously they're just trying to get media with the rookies, but they Hyatt was there, Hooker was there, and then obviously a bunch of other rookies. And they didn't show Hooker and Hyatt's, but they showed Bryce Young's, and I'm not going to judge because honestly, some of them were worse, but I'm definitely going to judge. Also, his signature totally looks like a dick. But like way too close to it. But that Panther is awful. The face. I mean, you got the blue eyes, right?
Dude.
No legs. I told Landon before the show.
He started drawing a portrait and then made it into a panther with a full face.
Kind of.
It looks like.
If that's what his looked like, and he got like an 80 on the draft exam, I can't only imagine what
his major was football.
Looked like. Yeah,
for sure. He's here to football.
I respect it. Did you see the video of him on the field at camp? And he literally looks like a 5-year-old practicing out there.
Dude, he's so small.
He's so tiny. Between him and Kyler Murray, or was it? There's a picture of somebody online today at camp, and they are chunky. I remember who it was. I thought it was Kyler Murray, but maybe it wasn't. He was already kind of chunk.
Oh, Tua.
Tua, that's who it was. Yeah, he was
looking thick.
Dude, I think that brain damage CT did a lot more. He needs to stop. I feel he's gonna get.
I think they said Tua Lacey.
Oh my god, Jesus. But yeah, that stuff's no joke. So hopefully,
you're on a diet, man.
Throwing up crip fingers.
Yeah,
that was no jokes.
I mean, I guess it could be worse. It could be flashing a gun when he was already suspended for it.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah,
I saw something that was like, I don't remember what it was, but it's like some stupid stat that like John Morant's shown a gun more times than alive than like it's compared it to something that like was just so stupid. But you're like, the fact that he's done it more times than that is like it's like something that happened once. It was like the Suns, I don't know, some weird space thing, but he's got to stop. He's gonna get because I saw the video of Skip and Shannon going over what all he did, and they didn't even get into the 2 gun lives and then the whatever, but he's got the interaction that his mom started at the restaurant or whatever, and then the one at the basketball game, and then also he like beat up the kid and like flashed his gun at the basketball court for that like 16-year-old. I mean, this guy, he's great talent.
Yeah, he needs to stop before Antonio Brown starts DMing him wanting to hang out.
Dude, that would be a deadly duo. No pun intended. That would be keep those two far away. You would think John Morant's PR team and like agent are. I mean, they're probably having aneurysms, but dude, you gotta do something.
I know in that last one, he was like, "Man, you couldn't tell it was a gun." And they're like, "What if you stop it right here?" And he's like, "Damn."
Yeah, it was literally so clearly, and even his friend literally like turned the phone. He like literally like shanked it away really quick because he was like, "You dumbass, dude." Dude sees a phone come out and he's just like, I don't get it.
Let's pull it out.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's dangerous to like when something like shows up, you just start pulling something out of your pants. I mean, that could be some charges. So,
yeah, you could go so many ways with that statement, but yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got a freaking LeBron hater. Blake Stansbury says LeBron wants all the attention on him when he gets out of the playoffs. Dude, the man is 38 years old. Of course he's talking about retirement. The dude is tired.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I also, in somewhat agreement, like, I don't think it's like necessarily like planned like that, but it's the same way that NFL quarterbacks, they'll tease retirement and stuff, or like let people assume that that's what's going to happen, and they know like in their heart what's going on, but they're going to let them run with it because that just is media attention. Like I said, I'm confident LeBron's not going to retire. Whether he takes a step back or something.
Don't worry about freaking Grant Williams. I mean,
tomorrow.
What was that big? Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got to worry about Grant Williams just sending nudes, like unsolicited nudes.
I need to confirm if that picture is real, because that is okay. I was about to say it's tonight. The game's happening right now. I was about to say because last night there was nothing on. I had to watch playoff hockey. I had to watch the Panthers. Celtics are up 19 right now.
Dang.
Grant Williams has.
Let's sprinkle some money. Let's do it,
dude.
Celtics win a series.
I don't want to get into it, but I need Scott Scheffler. I need Scott Scheffler to win. We'll put it that way this week in the Charles Schwab Challenge. It's not bad. It's just yeah, it's bad. It's not a problem obviously, but it was just like I got into a really good point. And I had like a lot of money, and unfortunately, online casinos available up here, and so it's like I just kept saying I'm due for like 6 hands in a row, and I was. In fact, not due. And then on top of that, I was like, oh, well, I'll just put whatever's left in my account on Scotty Scheffler. So I need like Scott Scheffler to win because I get like $500 back. So
okay,
kind of sweat it out. I was locked in. I watched every single shot of his today. Every single shot. He's 3 under, which he's tied for 11th last time I checked.
So he's sitting in a good spot.
He's okay. Yeah, he's tied for 7th right now because it's someone at 8, someone at 5, a bunch of people at 4, and a bunch of people at 3. So we're just going to have to see tomorrow. Tees off late. When you look at – I'm going to let Vegas decide if I'm good or not, and he's still favored it at plus 360, and the next highest person's like plus 1,100. So we're just going to ride. Not going to stress.
Yeah, let it ride.
But come Sunday evening, if that is to hit, we can hammer what game they'll be on game. If Celtics – we'll say Thursday. Will they play on Saturday? Is it every 2 days no matter what?
I'm not sure.
So they should play
Saturday.
Saturday.
I think so.
Yeah, so they'll play Saturday because they're probably going to win tonight. I mean, it's only halftime, but they're destroying them. Then maybe we'll toss some cheddar on it for Monday's game. If they win Saturday.
It'll be Saturday, and then Monday would be Game 7.
Yeah. Game 7. There we go. It's in the stars.
Yep.
Grant Williams, 30-plus points.
Maybe. What's he at right now? Do you know?
He's at 1 point and 1 unsolicited nude. That's awful that he probably has a lot more than. I really wish we could show that picture on here, but
yeah, no,
we just cannot. We can just not.
He is the only person on the team that is minus, like plus minus. He's -3 right now. The only one on the team.
For what?
Only one on the Celtics with a plus minus. He has a minus right now. Like everybody else. Plus 17, plus 8. He's minus 3.
Yeah, I was behind. Yeah, it's all good. He'll get it by game 7. We'll have it all. He had a lot of points in the last Tuesday's game, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that's all I got. Just kind of chatting it up.
Yeah,
guys being
look,
dudes.
we got hour 30. Guys being
yeah,
dudes.
we did good. We did good.
We did good. And in fairness, we didn't. I mean, it's off season. We don't have.
Yeah, we'll get some more guests on and stuff like that. If y'all have some guests that you'd like us to reach out to, we'd love to reach out to them and get them on, and we'll have a good old time. So, guys, thanks for listening again. Joe, anything else?
No, good. Have a good Memorial Day weekend. Turn up.
Yeah, let's get it. Thanks again for listening. Have a good Friday. Like Joe said, good Memorial weekend. And A65 Live this weekend. It's going to be fun. And we're bringing the boat in, and we out.